We're back with the £600 barn find MGF. Now, you miraculously fixed it.
Well, I thought I'd miraculously fixed it, but it turns out that I didn't. So I'm going to get on with diagnosing today while I install some serious modifications, including interior, handling, and some power upgrades. But first things first, let's start with the service.
I can't stay too long today because I've actually got an ideas session with Ben Collins, ex-Stig, so I'll do some easy stuff. Fantastic. How's she looking? Not horrendous, not full Alpha Brera, but not amazing either. In goes the freshie. I feel like this car is going to sound so much better through loads of different things. Back box, manifold, and some induction from this K&N. Dunzo. Next.
So now the next job is to do our spark plugs, because this car hasn't been serviced properly in a long time. The spark plugs are definitely going to be bad. Also, with the running issues that we've been having, spark plugs could be a culprit. So let's get cracking with it. Full of carbon and crud, so that's not looking great.
Enough that it runs as badly as it does?
I wouldn't say so, but it's all part of the process of elimination. It needs doing.
Oh, look at that.
If you compare it to the new one,
hell yeah.
We're looking at some good stuff. So they need doing anyway, so we're going to do them.
By the way, we'll put the link in the description below to MGOC parts. They've helped us out massively with everything on that table. So the link in the description if you own an MG Rover and need some parts. So originally at Tom Lenthal's place, we replaced the rear tyres because they were just totally gone. We thought the fronts were okay. Turns out those Ling Longs on the front were like 50p pieces. So Nankang UK have sent us some fresh Nankangs for the front to make this car handle reasonably.
So this, again, is a process of elimination for solving the running issue. We did wiggle this wire and that did sort of solve it temporarily when it was outside Mike's house, but now obviously it isn't running properly again. So it could be that this sensor was just temperamental and has finally just given up on us. Right, so in true DRIVETRIBE fashion, Mike has just left us with the car and buggered off. So luckily, Chris from MGOC Spares has come down to lend us a hand. He's brought a box full of goodies to help us modify and try and get this car running as it should.
We heard about the build and decided that we wanted to get involved because this is a charity build. We've supplied polyurethane bushes, drop links, coolant pipes, a full 12,000 mile service kit. Today, the plan is to get them on the car.
Judging by the issues this car has, Mike has a habit of buying questionable vehicles, especially those pulled out of a barn by AutoAlex.
Deal?
Sounds like a deal. Right.
Sounds good. Cheers, Alex.
Happy
That's
days.
one car that you finally sold.
So how do we know this car doesn't have a shady past?
However, I could have just paid a man, because we all know a man. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that to you, Mike.
Well, the sponsor of today's video, Car Vertical, offer a really good vehicle check-in service. Luckily, when Mike bought this MGF, he carried out his checks, which came back all clear. However, this other MGF he looked at buying wasn't so kosher. It had a clean odometer reading, however, has registered accident damage and is an insurance write-off. It's even been marked as scrap. Just look at the state of it. When buying a used car, make sure you use Car Vertical to ensure it doesn't have a shady past. Click the link in the description and use discount code MOREDT for 20% off. Right, let's get back to diagnosing this shed. So we're just checking continuity to see if there's a break in the cable, because Mike decided to do some experiments with the outside air temperature sensor by heating it up, and I think he might have overdone it and cooked it. That would cause fan issues. Oh. This is the one Mike put heat onto, a heat gun onto, and it looks very melted on the inside. It is melted. I can actually see the probe looks melted on the inside. If this works,
you can give it a crank.
No fan. No fan. That's good news. The fan isn't on now. I think it's all right. Oh, I thought too soon. All right. Well, that's one problem solved. The fan is not coming on anymore, so we can leave that on there. Next thing we're going to do, fuel filter. That's another culprit now. Oh. Does smell a bit varnishy though, so fitted the new fuel filter. It's not buzzing anymore, so that means I'll do it one more time. that would suggest that the fuel system is primed. Even now I've got the throttle open. It's odd, it's like the throttle. And for those of you wondering why there's so much smoke, it's not smoke, it's WD-40 because I've sprayed the manifold bolts, so don't be like, why is it smoking? Can we try to plug that sensor in again? Now we've got a new air temperature sensor. If that sensor is dodgy, could be like a miscorrelation between the two, maybe. Let's see, unplug it. Turn on the ignition and just see what happens.
Didn't like that, did it?
Didn't like that. Let's try and plug the other one on. Just,
all right, let's give it a go.
Put it on and see if it makes any difference for us. All right, give it a try. We're waiting.
Oh, she's starting to hunt.
Come back. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that one is working. So what we're going to do is, one of the problems we think we've been having is possibly the throttle body, because the plastic standard throttle bodies, they have a habit of warping. So what we're going to do, this is actually an upgrade, it's a bigger throttle body, so that should give us a few more horsepowers. This car's going to be literally 10-second car by the time we finish this. Look at that piece of art, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's made by Delorio, made in Italy. It's gonna work then, you know, it's gotta be, that by itself is worth horsepower. I mean, this is basically a Ferrari throttle body. So let's whack this on and hopefully, maybe this will solve our problem. So we've just got the old throttle body off. We're gonna inspect it for damage or any issues in there. As you can see, in comparison to the new throttle body, this one's a lot wider intake, which should give you more performance, better power, better throttle response. Okay.
Right, I think she's on. Almost ready for the rolling road session.
Yeah. 1,000 brake. Right.
Okay.
Do we start it?
I think you should start it.
Version 4.0 with the new throttle body. Let's go. With yet another part fitted and still no idling issue fix, I was beginning to lose my mind with this car, but I carried on by fitting a new distribution cap and rotor arm to see if that would help resolve the issues. No. Why not? Oh, I know why. We're being stupid. We're being stupid. We're being stupid.
How did that lead come off?
We took it off because it wasn't long enough to lift the distributor out with.
Right.
All right, try it again.
Okay. Back to the hunting problem.
No change there then, so I moved on to getting the car in the air to fit some suspension components and the cooling pipes. So the car's pretty clean underneath for its age, and for a barn find, I'm actually surprised. There's no real rot. Well, for today, we're going to do we're going to put brand new front interior bar on, all the bushes, the drop links, and we've also got some for the rear as well, so we'll get into that later as well. These bushes don't look great, so it's a good thing we have new drop links as well for the front. And we have some polyurethane upgrades for the rear ones.
Yeah, well. we have front and rear hot injection moulded polyurethane.
The other thing we're going to do as well, if Mike has probably already shown, is your coolant pipes that go from front to back.
Yeah.
Which they're not horrific, but they're definitely looking worse for wear.
Well, they usually rot out from the inside out.
Yeah.
And they're terrible for corrosion. When they go, they really spring.
Right, let's get cracking and start off with the drop link. We removed the drop links and anti-roll bars on the front and back, then added some brand new polyurethane bushes to the new drop links by knocking the old ones out and greasing up and fitting the new ones to the anti-roll bars. Now it's time to drain the oil and change the oil filter before moving on to detaching those rusty coolant pipes. All right, I'm just gonna pop it off. There we go. Ready?
Yeah.
And it's greeny. That shouldn't be that color. When I'm taking off coolant hoses off hard pipes, what I tend to do is get a pipe wrench and just twist it, because what it does is it will do that. It will break the seal from the pipe. If you give it a little twist,
there we go.
That's a lot more coming out of there.
Whoa! Oh, was that a squirrel? ready? There she blows.
That's a lot. She's off.
It's the best prevention you can put on the MGF. It won't cure a head gasket failure, but it will certainly help prevent one. There's nothing worse than losing coolant on the coolant pipes, and then in no time at all, your head will lift.
That's it. And if you look at the state of this and how much, these are so open to the elements that they just take an absolute battering. If you look at that, it's just completely rusting. And that's on the outside. That's not to mention corrosion that occurs from inside out. So you've got both sides corroding against each other, and it's a matter of time before all of a sudden you sprout a leak. Let's get it whacked on.
Yeah, let's get it on.
Fitting the new coolant pipes was a breeze, and look how much it changes the appearance underneath the car.
Yeah, so Max, it's been a real pleasure, and I've enjoyed working with you today. We've got everything that we wanted to get on the car. I'm going to leave you with those million bolts to put on. Anyway, whilst Max is doing that, I'm just going to leave a little calling card so you know who is here today.
Now Chris has gone, it was time to fit our Nankang tyres, car mats, gear gaiter, and refilling the oil and coolant before starting the car and bleeding the system. Is she going to run? We did put oil in it, didn't we? Yeah. That was the alarm test. The alarm works. The alarm works. Oh, for God's sake. Piece of crap. Mike. She's just sounding bad. I think the only thing we haven't been able to check on this car is the map sensor, which is inside the ECU. Now, I don't know, I have to do some research on this. I don't know if we have to actually replace the ECU, or if it's possible to actually replace the sensor with inside the ECU. That is literally, I think, the only thing we haven't been able to do today. We've replaced every sensor we can think of. We've checked every sensor we can think of. I almost feel to undo this pipe and see what happens. I'm going to undo it. Do it with the vac hose. Okay, so it's the map sensor. It's definitely the map sensor, because I've just unplugged. If you want to have a quick look on these ECUs, the map sensor's inside the ECU. This is the vac hose that goes to the ECU, to the map sensor, for it to know what the pressure is. I can actually feel, if you can see my glove sticking to it. So we haven't got a problem with the vacuum. There's no vacuum leak there. When that was plugged in, it was running rough. Now it's unplugged. It's idling. So it's obviously gone into a bit of a safe mode now. It's running okay. So we need a map sensor. So I was kind of right the first time. You know how I made the mistake in the first video? I was actually right. Maxwell was right. I knew I was right all the time. This was just a test of the internet to see if you guys knew what it was. Anyway, she's running. I can't believe it. I'm so happy right now.
Thank God I finally found that pesky idling issue. Now with that out the way, I can finally move on to fitting that wonderful Janspeed exhaust system.
And so she's done. The exhaust is complete. It's all on there. Must admit, was not the easiest job in the world. Mostly because getting this manifold up through this gap was an absolute nightmare. I had to modify the heat shield quite extensively. I'm very impressed. Janspeed came through with the good stuff on this. So now we're gonna listen to it very quickly, see what she sounds like.